You're begging me, oh, to forgive you, oh. Hello everyone, good morning, go welcome to here. Today we're gonna talk about something, okay? We're still gonna talk about something. I'm also gonna put lip gloss on at the same time. Today we're gonna talk all about sharps and flats and what those are. And also, why they exist. Why there one note goes by two different note names? What the heck is even that about? Stupid. Well, it's not stupid, don't say that. I'm gonna explain it. So here on the screen right now, okay, yeah, I think it's on the screen right now, is our musical alphabet. And if we notice, some of these little notes, okay, have what are called sharps and flats, and also referred to as accidentals. They're accidentals. And so, okay, what are these sharps and flats? What are these little symbols? What do they mean? Okay. Okay, yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Well, they indicate when a non-accidental note, okay, is raised or lowered by a half step from its natural position. And a non-accidental note is just a note that doesn't have an accidental. Okay, I just made it up. Keep up. Okay, so fine, we're moving up or down by a half step. Great. Okay, what is a half step? Well, a half step is a musical unit of measurement that means moving up to the very next note, or it also means moving up a fret. Half step. It's a 1-2 step, but a half step. So if we take this D note here, for example, it's right here, okay, and we move up a half step, now we have D sharp. And if we take this E note here, for example, and we move it down a half step, now we have E flat. Yeah. And so now this note in the middle here, D sharp and E flat, it's both called by the same name, isn't it? Yeah, it appears to be so. And that little situation, all right, which is one note going by two different note names, is what we call an enharmonic equivalent, all right? It's enharmonic equivalencies. That's what we call it in the business. And so why? Why? Well, historically speaking, sharps and flats were not used in our, standard musical alphabet. There were only notes from A to G, right? No accidentals, none at all. But when we wanted to start to introduce the pitches in between these notes to our musical alphabet, instead of just recreating the entire musical alphabet, okay, which they would have to do because you're already doing A to G, okay? So instead of doing that, they decided to use sharps and flats to describe the pitches in between our already established notes, which is A to G, okay? And so essentially a D sharp represents a D note that is slightly higher in pitch, and an E flat represents an E note that is slightly lower in pitch. Want to see a picture of a ghost? No. Look, it's a ghost. And so the reason we have, sharps and flats, and we don't just call those notes just different letters completely, right, is just a historic one, really. It's a historic one. It's just the way that they decided to call them just so that we don't have to reinvent all of music theory, okay? Oh, God. And so now, wait, I'm on the ground. I don't feel like getting up yet. We're just going to do this here for a second. Okay, so now this brings us back to, why the names of these specific enharmonic equivalent notes matter in the context of key theory, all right? Because this is where they really shine. Yeah, they sparkle when we talk about key theory. I never met a ghost, but I'd like to. I would. I'd like to meet a ghost. Who would want to meet a ghost? Who would want to meet a ghost? Tell me who would want to meet a ghost? Probably a ghost. A ghost probably would want to meet a ghost. What happens if ghosts meet other ghosts? Do you think they create a black hole? So standing alone as a little orphan, this specific note called D sharp E flat doesn't mean much. No, it doesn't mean much. It's just a little orphan. It doesn't have family. It doesn't mean it's not valuable. Of course not. It's very valuable. But it doesn't have family. Don't feel bad for the note. He's fine. Standing alone is called D sharp E flat. It just is. It's not D sharp or E flat. It is both D sharp and E flat. You can't separate the two. But when this specific note gets adopted into a specific key, all right, that is when, how do I put that into words? What is the word for this? So let me tell you what I mean. Okay, I'll tell you what I mean by that. The notes within the key of B major, for example, are B, C sharp, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp, and A sharp, okay? And so look at here. We have a D sharp note, don't we? Yeah, it's not called D sharp E flat, it's called D sharp, specifically, okay? Why? Well, because in music theory, when we're building scales, there are rules, right? There are rules. Every letter has to be represented once and in order. So when building the B major scale, we have to call that specific pitch D sharp and not E flat, because that wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't be in order. It wouldn't be in order, no. And so that is when the full context of enharmonic equivalence really comes into play, okay? When they're part of a key, that is when what you call it, right, one or the other, is very important, okay? In B major, you cannot call that pitch E flat. You can't. It's D sharp, okay? It finally gets adopted into a family. Okay, now it gets breakfast. It gets breakfast at Christmas. Presents at Christmas. Gets little puzzles. Candy apples. And so the same for the E flat note. If we take a look at the scale of B minor, those notes are B, C, D, E flat, F, G, and A. So again, that E flat is called E flat and not D sharp because it wouldn't make sense. You couldn't have B, C, D, D sharp, F, G, A. That doesn't make any sense. It's stupid. You can't even do that. So in that specific key, B minor, that pitch, right, D sharp, E flat, has to be called E flat and not D sharp. Yeah, and so that's really it. That's all. That's it. Those are sharps and flats, and there are enharmonic equivalents behind them. And yeah, that's it. That's the video. Thank you. Bye. Oh my gosh, I want peanut butter cookies. Look. They're healthy cookies. They're healthy cookies. They're good for you. Well, they're not good for you, but they're not like Jabba. Just Eflat, eggs, never stop. Big stop, big stop. Let's stop. Stop all that. Goodbye, obviously. That's all, everyone. That's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being. Thanks for all that you do. Don't forget, go over to meganchurchmusic.com. Get yourself a little hat. Put it on. Tie it under here. Fly away. Also, check out the Key to Music Theory Wheelchair course. That will especially help you in this whole situation because we break down sharps, flats, and harmonic equivalents and scale building in detail. Step by step, one to one together, and more. Yeah, you're gonna like it. And it also has a PDF practice workbook to implement, to practice all the things, you know? And also we have some eBooks. We have the 70 Zen Guitar Study eBook. That is a scale, theory, study reference book, all organized in the Cage system. It's great, you know, it's really fun. And we get the 70 Zen Beginner Guitar Guide. That is gonna help you in your beginner journey, okay? Everything you need to learn at the beginning of playing guitar is all in the book. It's all in there, and it's fun to look at. And it has aliens in it, and they're conspiracy aliens, okay? And they're wondering if human beings are real. Yeah, and they also have podcasts. Also, don't forget, Cookie, don't forget to check out my YouTube memberships if you feel like it, if you want to. Look, we got little badges. We got little emojis you can use in the comment section. Just a way to support the channel if you want to. Want to see a picture of a Christmas tree? I used to put random things in it. Yeah, so those are pencils, hand soap, dispenser, The Sims. There's some gum in there. Yeah, an umbrella. I put an umbrella in there. It's somewhere in there. A keyboard. And then I chopped it off with William Shatner cut out. And so that's all, everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being. Thanks for all that you do. Don't forget that if ever you go to the rock climbing, your local rock climbing establishment, and you walk in there and you see a lemonade stand, buy one. They're pretty good. They put fresh lemons in there. Not the ones you put in the not the the plastic lemon. No, it's fresh lemons. I asked. It's very good. They also put agave instead of sugar. It's very good too. And if you ask, they'll give you a little tea cookie on the side. No, they're really nice. They're saving money to go to space camp, but it's not really like space camp. It's space camp, but they don't go to space camp, and they just like keep the money. And don't forget to subscribe. At 5,000 subscribers, I'm going to solve a Rubik's Cube on camera for the world to see. I messed up there. I was going to say I was going to solve a camera. I would, but I don't know what that means. Well, listen, subscribe and we'll see what happens. I think we're good. I think we're good to go. We're good to go. Bye.